Hey guys, Matt Science here, and today I'm with Taylor the Gamer Junkie once again to talk about
The next season of Initial D.
season 2 of Initial D, which has only 13 episodes yet somehow has like double the content.
Yeah, but not as many pages as the first season. When we
Not as many
reviewed it,
pages. Like there was a lot of stuff to talk about with season 1,
yeah.
although season 2 has a lot to talk about.
Yeah, but hopefully it's not as much as when we covered it the first time.
Oh,
So,
it's still gonna be a fair bit.
yeah. And hopefully we're going to try and get through it in one video.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, this does not mean fuck you.
Okay, then.
It actually means brother in Japanese sign language.
The hell it does.
No, it actually does. I did research.
Okay.
I looked it up because Itsuki does that in like the second episode, I think.
I thought that was just an insult.
In Japanese sign language, it's not.
Okay, then.
Because remember, you gotta remember, the roofing in Japan is actually the pinky.
Really?
And I'm just flipping out all the Japanese off now.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Right, so episode 1, I noticed you put Star Wars style text crawl. To me, it didn't seem like Star Wars.
It felt like Star Wars
Yeah.
because it's the slow text crawl up the screen.
Yeah.
I know with Star Wars it's like going backwards, so that it actually looks like you're reading a scroll, but it's still a slow text crawl. And
Yeah.
just like Star Wars is the only thing I really know that's close to that.
Okay.
Because I don't watch many old movies.
I do. And then we got so the calls to explain what the events of what happened in the first stage, which I needed a refresher of.
Yeah.
So that was good to know.
Yeah, but we've already covered that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch the anime, just go and watch our videos on the first season.
Yeah. And then we got the first one was the race between a Funders member and Emperor member.
Yeah, and
Yep.
the Emperor member just wins easily.
And he gets the team sticker and cuts it in half.
Yeah,
and
they
puts it on the
take
card.
like a knife and they cut it in half right in front of the people.
And they look so shocked. They're like, "Oh, how could you do that?" Well, it's like a sticker, you know. It's like I'm sure you can get another sticker.
Yeah, no, but what they also say is, when you see us, pull over.
Oh yeah, it's like because we own
your road, basically.
Yeah, you pull over, you give us all your fuel.
No,
Yeah, I know,
it's
I
just
know.
pull off to the side.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke.
And their plan is to basically rule all of Gunma in the racing world.
Yeah, because they want to. Well, I wouldn't say rule all of it, just rule all the racing roads, basically.
That's why I just put racing world, not world.
Yeah.
And they want to do it within a month.
Which we know is
not gonna happen.
Yeah. And then so we got
Not with Takumi around.
Yeah. Speaking of Takumi, he was with Itsuki in their car. And
and
Itsuki's talking about how he wants to get
adding a turbo. Which is a surprisingly important point for the whole season.
Yeah, which we find out later. It affects Takumi later. And Itsuki is talking about Lan Evo's abilities because he heard about the race that happened.
Yeah, and this is actually important stuff for Takumi to pick up on as well.
Yeah,
because he's going to be racing one of them.
Yeah, and so they end up pulling over at a gas station.
No, they pull over at like a lake.
Yeah, they pull over at the lake, and the leader of the Emperor, him and his friend have just passed him before.
Koichi Sudo.
Yeah, and so Takumi goes to get a coffee
and
for
him
Itsuki.
and Itsuki and
yeah, and then while he's gone, we learn more about the leader.
No,
the team.
I just noted that like he's the leader of the team and what he drives.
Yeah,
those are like the two important points.
Yeah, not like his backstory and all that.
No, we learned that later.
Yeah, but here we learn who he is. we learn a bit more about him after seeing him in the beginning.
Well, with most characters, you only ever really learn their first name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I did some research in the background and just be like, okay, this is that character's last name, and this is the car that they drive.
Yeah.
Which is a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3 GSR.
And then Seiji asks Itsuki who's the fastest driver in Akane is, which is obviously Takumi.
Yeah, Akina, by the way.
Yeah, Akina, sorry.
Akina.
Yeah.
Japanese and English are different pronunciations of the same word.
And then the guy Seiji is like, those cars are junk. And it's like the people drive. He's like,
Takumi's getting annoyed because of what he's saying.
And Itsuki was like, he even beat an R3 too. And it's like, well, the driver must have been pretty shit then.
Yeah, and they don't find out that he even beat Ryosuke until
later.
Yeah. Oh, hold on a moment.
I think that's his washing machine. Alright, so Itsuki tries to attack Seiji because he's so offended by how Seiji's just brushing off Takumi as the fastest driver. Which to be fair, he hasn't actually met Takumi, so and he sees Takumi in front of him, but he doesn't know that he is the fastest driver that Itsuki is talking about. Talking about how Itsuki tries to attack Seiji for saying Takumi's 86 is a junker, and how Seiji doesn't know that Takumi is the actual driver, one that won the races.
And we find out that Seiji's I always try to take note of the name when it's first mentioned. So Seiji's last name is Iwaki.
Isn't it Iwaka?
Iwaki.
Iwaki.
He drives Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 4 RS and is like the second member of the Emperor's team.
Well, I wouldn't say second member, he's more like the second, up. Leader.
Yeah.
In the ranking system.
That's why I said second person,
Yeah, to me it sounded like he said, he was the second person to join.
No. Well, technically he was.
I guess. Okay. Then you get seeing Itsuki get angry, calm Takumi, sorry.
Yeah.
Then Itsuki suggests to add turbo to Akina's 86.
So yeah, I do refer to the 86 now as Akina's 86 because he's beaten Ryosuke at this point.
Yeah. Why is it Akina's 86? Shouldn't it be Takumi's 86?
Because that's what everyone else refers to it as. They don't know Takumi drives it.
Okay. Then we got Team Emperor's home course is Irohazaka, located in Nikko. Am I saying that right? Nikko?
Yeah.
Nikko Bellic. GTA 4.
It's Nikko, yeah.
That's 1K he has instead of 2 here. So Ikutani, Kenji, and Itsuki tried to convince Takumi and Turbo to add turbo to Akini's 86, and he's like, no. And then when
it would feel different.
Yeah, he's like, why don't you let your dad do it? And he's like, adding a turbo costs more fuel, and my dad's pretty stingy with money. And they're like, oh, don't say that about our hero. It's like, that man's your hero.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, and then later after the gas station, Kiyoshi, Seiji, and meet up with Ryusuke at Akagi. And
Ryosuke mentions that he got beaten by an 8-6.
Yeah, and they're like, what? No. And then that's when he starts.
That's when he puts together. It's like, wait, Akina's 8-6.
Yeah, it's like the gears are starting to turn. He's like, oh, it must have been that guy. So Seiji's Land Evo 4 versus Takashi's R32 uphill race.
So I think the race took place on the home course of
I think it did.
Night Kids, which was Miyagi.
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 Okay.
Like Myogi.
Okay. Then we got episode 2 here. Seiji passes Takashi easily.
Yeah. So Seiji won that race.
Yeah.
Without even really trying.
And Kesuke tells Ryosuke about
Kesuke.
Kesuke tells Ryosuke about the Seiji Takashi race. And Takashi crashed into a wall on the corner during the race.
Yeah, and of course Seiji has to be an absolute douche.
Well, he won. He won all the glory. Of course he's going to be dicks to them.
Yeah.
This is my course. Mine.
So, Ikutani says to Tomi that Team Emperor may challenge him to a race, and that he can decline it.
But, Takumi wants to race, though. Can you really decline a race, though? They say you can, but I feel like that's like, you can decline, but you're going to end up racing anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Inevitable. Then Utsuke sticks the middle finger up. In Japanese sign language, it means older brother. I did not know that.
That is an actual thing. I saw it happen on the screen. I'm like, hold on, did he just flip everyone off?
Right at that
so
time.
I took a moment to look it up, and I'm like, no, he did not.
Right at that time in DBZ when Future Trunks is leaving to his own time, and you see like he flips off Vegeta, just like. As in the original Japanese version.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like dad. He's like dad, and then he's just like.
But yeah, that's like the main reason why you sometimes the characters that stick up the middle finger in anime, and most of the time it's not construed as rude.
Yeah, it reminds me of Rick and Morty. When Rick has that bad show, I was like, "Fuck you! What did you just fucking say to me? Oh, you said it means hello." And we're exiting the ship, and it's like, yeah, I told them this means
hi.
Yeah.
I wonder what the middle finger for that planet was.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that we're on episode 2 now.
Oh yeah. We're flying through these episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
Flying through at like 60 miles per hour.
Where were we, by the way?
We're here.
There we go. Yuchi suggests to upgrade the 86 to match Takumi's skill.
Yeah, but Takumi's like still adamant on no.
Yeah. And then
and Bunta already has a new engine for the car.
Yeah, and we find out later that he's
he doesn't want to replace it until
he knows Takumi.
Until Takumi loses a race.
Yeah, because Takumi needs to push the car as far as he can get it.
Yeah, and he needs to understand about the car, like the feeling of losing.
Yeah.
Of which Takumi has not experienced yet.
And then Masashi Suzuka, mechanic at Suzuki Motors.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the actual Suzuki Motors.
Yeah, and here we go. This is what we're saying. Buta says to Masashi and Yuchi that he won't replace the engine until Takumi loses a race, which is what we just covered. Then Kiyoshi plans to beat Akuna's 86, but Seiji insists on him racing instead.
Yeah, because like Seiji just thinks, oh, he's an easy car. Yeah, it's an easy car to beat.
Yeah, but that he suddenly gets proven wrong.
Yeah, he does not know Takumi at all.
Yeah. Then Takumi gets an ominous note in his shoe about Natsuki dating an older man for money, and
which is being a thing from the very start.
But isn't the older man her dad?
No, it actually is not.
She calls him Papa.
That's sort of what
what he's
girls
into.
Do. That's what sugar girls do.
God. And it's like
I was trying to figure out how to word that,
oh,
by the way.
so no, that's what sugar daddies do. They give gifts to the sugar girls.
Yeah, he does that in the show too.
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay, well, I'm relieved to know that it wasn't actually her dad.
thank goodness.
Hey, if that's what you're into, then alright, yeah, but don't make us get into it. Like, even if that's what you're into.
Hmm.
No
But
blood
yeah,
relation.
Zakmi has not thought about getting a more powerful engine, even though he definitely should consider it.
After what happens later.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be getting a new engine.
Yeah, so Team Emperor arrives on Akana, and Akana's 86 is going to verse Senji's Evo I4. And
No, IV, which is
IV,
4.
sorry. Kiyoshi tells Senji to use Simulation 3, which he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't.
If
Like, he sort of starts off using it, but then he just passes Takumi because he gets annoyed.
Yeah.
And then Takumi passes him back and wins the race.
Yeah. And then Kiyoshi tells Akana's 8 he felt Akana's 86 energy.
Yeah.
The force was strong with that vehicle.
Yeah. And, like, aura and a lot of that stuff, it comes into importance.
Yeah, and Team Emperor use a method called the Handicap Method.
So it's basically the engine with less horsepower goes first. Which is why Takumi starts off the race first.
Yeah, and then that brings us to episode 3, where the race is happening. And so Itsuki is the only one that thinks Takumi can win again, because everyone's like, oh, that's
No, it's an Evo. It's a land Evo. There's no way he's gonna win this race.
Yeah.
And yet he manages to win the race.
Yeah. And Seiji is getting annoyed just chasing Akane's 86. Akana, sorry. Akane's, sorry.
Akana.
And Natsuki doesn't want. Then we see this other. Then we go back to Natsuki, and she doesn't want to date the older man anymore. It's like
she's waking up to the what's going on.
But like, were they kissing or anything?
No.
We don't really see this guy's face.
Yeah, we never see the face.
We see like side shots. It's like with Master Chief
and we
in
see
Halo.
the chin.
Yeah,
but never the eyes.
You know Master Chief in Halo?
Yeah.
You never see his face. You do get glimpses of it from the side, without his helmet or the back of his head, but you never see it full on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet somehow I'm betting someone's mapped his whole face out.
Yeah, someone. Okay. So so then we leave the date, we go back to the race.
We go to Rosuke and Keisuke.
Rosuke told Keisuke to go to a certain corner if he watches the race.
If he wanted to watch the race.
Yeah. Well, you put if he watches the race.
Well, it still works, doesn't it?
Yeah. Seiji passes Takumi on the longest straightaway of Akana. And then we get back to Natsuki, who realizes the current relationship is not normal.
Yeah. There's a lot of jumping that goes on in this.
Back and forth.
In the races. Like, I really wanted to just be like, race.
Yeah.
And no jumps between.
Yeah. And Kiyoshi gets angry that a message of Seiji passing Takumi because he wanted
he wanted Seiji to
learn from Takumi, to learn his technique so he can pass him. And Takumi
just pass him at the last corner.
Yeah. And Takumi ends up catching up to Seiji. And the people watching the race are surprised that Akana's 86's turning speed.
Yeah.
And Seiji is struggling on the turns because doesn't he have to use the pedal, like the gas, in order to turn?
I think it is,
Because if he lets go of the gas, then the car's not going to turn properly.
Yeah. Gas.
Yes, go step on the gas.
Copyright right there.
Yeah. See about that YouTube thing? They did 20 seconds of the Mission Impossible. They're like dun dun dun.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned.
Yeah, and they got copyright just for doing that. It's like what? How's that copyright?
I got a copyright claim on a video that I uploaded because it's tracked in North Korea of all places.
Okay then.
Well, actually, it's not that big of a surprise, considering like most stuff is tracked by North Korea.
Okay, so Seiji is still confident he can win, but we both know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and Takumi is just right there. It's just like,
and that brings
hello.
us to episode 4, and some people are like, oh no, Seiji can still win it, but Itsuki, he knows it's over.
Yeah.
And then Keisuke knows something is bound to happen at the turn he's at. And then the gutter turns, which you were saying doesn't get called that in the first season.
It still doesn't even get the name gutter turn until, like, he calls it a ditch turn. But I guess it truly doesn't get the name of gutter turn until volume 4.
Yeah.
Or season 4.
And the turn and then Takumi calls his gutter turn ditch turn and ditch turn number 2.
Which is sort of stupid. Like, terrible naming scheme there, mate.
Yeah, and then Takumi gets side by side with Seiji while also disappearing completely.
So,
because
literally,
his car has camouflage, right?
No.
And he presses a button and he turns invisible.
No, it's not the car from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
No, the reason why he disappeared so easily is because no one uses their side mirrors.
Yeah.
No one ever checks the side mirrors while racing.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't put stickers on the side mirrors. You know, he's put it on the back windows and that. One of them's on the back window.
Yeah. Well, it's the logo. But yeah. So, like, Takumi is, like, right behind Seiji, and then manages to completely disappear from view and get right up beside Seiji.
And he ends up winning.
Yeah.
And Takumi doesn't feel like he won the race. Which
he did.
He did, yeah, that's what confused me. It was like, you won the race.
Well, he's like faced off against many people.
So it's no longer a challenge.
Yeah, it no longer feels like a challenge for him.
Yeah. And then Kiyoshi wants to beat Ryusuke in the race.
That was his main goal the whole time.
Yes, but now he has to beat Takumi.
Yeah, he has. And Takumi wants the race to be on Akina, which does happen in season 4.
Okay. I also noticed that the art style changed from season 1 to season 2. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, that's because we're in the next season comes out in in the 2000s. Okay. So they probably changed up the technology.
Okay.
To match the times.
Because I thought the series came out in the 90s.
1998.
1998.
Yeah, you expect them to squeeze 4 seasons into 2 years, like 6 seasons into 2 years.
Why not? The Harley Quinn show, 2 seasons came out in 1 year. There was a 3-month divide.
You gotta remember, 1998. That's like 22 years.
It's like
there's no way
23 years.
It's almost 23 because I'm pretty sure the first episode didn't come out until like May or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, 22 years. It's pretty hard to get that out. And Harley Quinn is an animation, like cartoon.
Yeah, I'm sick of these people like, okay, if you draw a character with blue hair and big eyes, that's automatically anime.
Yeah.
That's what these people in the West think. Anime is animation from Japan. Right?
Yeah.
That's anime.
Although there is technically a genre called Western anime where it's from America.
Yeah, but that's not true anime.
Yeah, that's not true anime.
It's fake. And a fake anime.
And a fake.
And a fake anime. Alright, so Takumi receives another anonymous note, but doesn't read it.
Yeah. He reads it later in the show, in like a flashback sort of way.
Yeah. And then Takumi ignores Natsuki because he knows.
Yeah, he knows that she's dating someone else. So...
He knows that. He knows that Natsuki is nothing but a liar
Yeah.
and a bit of a tramp, if you ask me. And then Kiyoshi offers a race at Akagi, but it's
Akagi.
not Akagi, but it's not a challenge. It was just merely like
a friendly race.
yeah. It was
But
like a little, what do you call it? Like a time trial or something like that, like a training thing. How do you say it?
friendly race is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's not really a race. It's just like
Well,
a lovely stroll.
He says he offers a race at Akagi, but it's not a challenge.
A lovely driving stroll across the countryside. Ah. Okay. So Takumi decides not to race Kiyoshi at first. I mean, at Akagi, they race somewhere else, right?
No, he's just like, no, I don't want to race you.
Oh, and then he changes his mind, and
because of the fact that he sees Natsuki with the guy.
Yeah. Then Bunta is surprised that Takumi is still winning.
Like Bunta expected Takumi to lose sooner than he did.
Yeah. And then Takumi receives a call for a message to go to a family restaurant near Mebashi, and that's where he sees.
That's where he sees the whole thing with Natsuki and the older guy.
I remember thinking.
By the way, the restaurant is actually called Family.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So that brings us, after he sees them, that brings us to episode 5.
Episode 5, where he's angry. He goes to Akagi.
Yeah, and you can
decides to race.
And Seiji notices that Takumi's attitude is different. He's like serious and a bit angry, as opposed to just being, you know, because you never really see him get serious in the
you see him get serious later on.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as opposed to season 1,
he's never serious. He's like,
this casually. It's like One Punch Man.
Yeah.
But down this one we see, because like that was like his whole default emotion in the first season was just like
no emotion.
Just like, what's going on? The Natsuki, yeah, I like you. Try to go on a date with me. It's just like, it's like with Vegeta, how his whole one default emotion is angry. It's the whole thing. Ugh, my nutsack.
That was your ribs that I was punching at.
No, my balls are so big that from the disease I got, which is the mumps. You know what the mumps are?
No, not really.
There's this thing, and it's like this infection you get in your lungs and that, and they just, they just make your neck kind of like swollen, and you get these lumps. They can also make your testicles swell. It's like very contagious.
Hey, at least it's not elephantitis.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's terrible.
But yeah, if you remember the Breakfast Club, and one of the, I think it's the guy in the coat. He's talking about this one guy that got elephantitis on his nuts.
You see the new Breakfast Club?
No.
Don't watch it.
No, but in that scene, he's literally like, his nuts had to take like the passenger seat.
Yeah. Okay, so Bunta senses a disturbance in the force and has an uneasy feeling that something is going to happen. Which it does. Yeah.
And that thing that happens is the engine literally exploding.
Yeah.
While Takumi's driving.
Yeah, so Ikutani, Itsuki, and Kenji assume Takumi is on a date with Natsuki since he's not home. But he's actually in his 86 and is about to race Kiyoshi's Land Evo 3. And then Takumi starts the race.
So who's going to win this one?
We both know who wins. Takumi starts the race start.
I meant first.
Okay, yeah. So Takumi first, the race starts.
No, Takumi starts the race first.
No, Takumi starts the race start.
That's why. Hey, you gotta remember, I'm writing these notes fast. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
That's why I'm fucking riding it.
And so Takumi would take this race, settling on the racing genius in the making.
Yeah. No, Seiji wonders why Takumi would take the race.
Because normally Takumi stays behind,
Mm-hmm.
observing, but he's not. Takumi's just angry. He's not really thinking straight.
Yeah.
So he
No,
decides
he like Seiji goes through all these things and then settles on racing genius
yeah,
in the making.
yeah. And then Kiyoshi swings wide in a turn to stare down Ryusuke.
Ryusuke. Yeah.
And then Kiyoshi's Land Evo 3 uses a misfiring system used in a WRC rally race. I used to have a game called WRC Rally Racing, I think it was.
Really?
If I know there was WRC involved.
Hmm.
Those were the 3 letters, but I don't know what it was called. It was WRC.
And Ryusuke recognizes that Kiyoshi is a tougher opponent this time round than last year.
He's not going down without a fight. So
Yeah.
Kiyoshi avoids flash moves and sticks to the basics. And while this is happening, Ryusuke dislikes Kiyoshi. Like you find out in his head. Yeah.
Well, he literally just says that.
What was that?
That was nothing.
Your kidnapped victim in the basement, screaming for help.
Yeah, Takumi is getting irritated by the misfiring system used by the Lambo.
Yeah. And then Natsuki arrives at the gas station looking for Takumi. Natsuki...
I don't know why the camera's just gone dark for some reason.
Is this charging right, or...?
I don't know, I think it's just the camera. Just like... Stupid.
Where are we? Natsuki arrives at the gas station looking for Takumi. But he's not there.
He's out racing right now because you messed up, Natsuki.
Yeah, and Natsuki gave Itsuki a cheesecake, which is to give to Takumi.
No, it was for him.
It was for him?
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was for Takumi, but Itsuki eats it.
Well, I think it might have been for Takumi, but since Takumi wasn't there, she just gave it to Itsuki to have.
Yeah, and he thought it was for him to eat. At least that's what I'm thinking. So Kiyoshi passes.
There was another anime where it's like a mispronounced joke, and one of the lines that came up was cheesecake. We covered it, but I don't remember which anime it was.
I don't either.
But I'm pretty sure it came up as a joke.
Right. Kiyoshi passes Takumi on an S-turn, and then we go back to Ryusuke, and he notices that Takumi's racing is to release some frustration, because he knows after racing Takumi, it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! With Kaiba.
Yeah, once you race or battle someone, you understand them.
Yeah, and even when you lose, you try to learn more about them.
Yeah. And Ryusuke has learned a lot about Takumi just through the driving technique he uses.
Yeah. And then Akane's 86 exhaust sounds like an enraged roar, like the song. You're gonna hear me roar louder.
You want to get a poke in the ribs.
Right. And so that's the end of episode 5. Now we get to episode 6.
We're almost halfway already.
Yeah. So Takumi's friends and boss are not sure on Takumi racing as they speak.
Yeah, so they don't know if he's racing or not because Takumi is not home, and they don't know where the car is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Seiji knows that with Akane's 86, the race is far from over. And then we go back to the race.
Seiji literally now respects Takumi's skill, which is a surprise. Like he made a 180 on that.
Yeah.
Like Takumi sort of has that effect on people.
Yeah. And then we go back to the race, and Takumi is still behind Kiyoshi, and Kiyoshi is amazed at Takumi's adaptive skill, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he's able to push the engine like every time he's like falling behind.
Yeah.
And with that, like even if he's never been driven down a road, he could literally figure out where to go. Basically, by seeing where the other person's gone.
Yeah. And then Kiyoshi reasons to not speed up away from Takumi because he wants to observe Takumi's the way he drives more.
Yeah. Although you can't really do it from in front of the person.
Yeah.
You have to do it from behind.
Yeah. That's what she said. Then Ryosuke figures out that Takumi doesn't grasp the concept of giving up. And then we get a glimpse of Takumi's aura, his kami, his force sensitive ability.
Don't you do that.
Do what?
Kami.
No, he's kami as in spirit.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
What?
I heard it somewhere. You know that was actually a king?
What?
The word Kamehameha comes from a person who was known as King Kamehameha. I'm not kidding you. He's an actual king.
Hold on. Where are we on this, actually? Oh, yeah. Aura. Yeah. I just needed to note that.
Okay.
But yeah, we actually get to see Takumi's aura.
Yeah. It's like Ultra Instinct.
Yeah. And we get to see it again in a later episode, and in the very last season, we see it, like, we get to see it, and it's like the angel wings form. Like, it gets, like, they go all out for the aura stuff at the end. So it's like, we're going to finish this off on an epic note, basically.
Is this at the end of season 2 or 3?
No, at the end of the story.
The end of the story, okay, because I didn't see it at the end of season 2.
No, we don't see it until like. So, don't know even if we see it in season 4, because I have not seen season 5 or season 6.
We have to find those. So Kiyoshi changes his. Yuchi calls Bunta to find out if Takumi's home, but he's not.
He's not. He's out racing.
And Kiyoshi.
But Bunta doesn't really know that he's out racing.
Yeah. And then Kiyoshi changes his racing style at the end of the S-turn section. And when this happens, Takumi's engine blows up on the straightaway.
Because he's trying to go faster, catch up to him. But the engine just...
Yeah. Then Kiyoshi defeats Takumi and word spreads fast. You can see that Takumi's just like upset. Yeah. Like he wouldn't see... Was he crying? Like... He wasn't crying.
He did cry.
He looked like he was.
He was upset.
Yeah, I thought that was the sweat. To be honest, so he was sweating from his eyes.
Sort of both.
Yeah.
He's sweaty and crying because he's broken the engine.
Yeah, and then Bunta, which he gets there pretty quick, and then rides.
Yeah, he's just there ready. It's like. Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to happen.
Yeah. And then Bunta reveals that Takumi has
a saving account.
A saving account from all his tofu deliveries.
And also his other job.
Yeah. Bunta says the engine can't be repaired and explains why.
Because the explanation that was given is a pin fell out and a particular type of rod, I don't remember, a con rod, punched a hole in the engine block. Does that make sense?
Yeah, not to me. I don't know cars.
Neither do I, but I just remember. I was just going off memory of what Bunta said.
Yeah. And so, Natsuki tries to call Takumi, but
Takumi's ignoring her because...
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
But she's nothing but a liar.
And she's
a bit of a
she
tramp.
cries for no reason, because it's like, why is he ignoring me, sort of stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
bitch.
It's like, Takumi, end up with the other racing girl. Go on.
Go You mean Sayaki?
Yeah, the one. Remember he raced the two women. One of them was.
Oh yeah, the blonde one.
Yeah. End up with her, Takumi.
Yeah, the better of the two.
Yeah.
And anyway, Marco's probably gonna end up with Ikatani.
Yeah. Maybe I haven't seen it all, so I'll have to wait and see.
Maybe.
So Bunta comforts Takumi, saying
Comforts.
yes, he confronts Takumi. Damn it,
Comforts.
you little kid! What the fuck are you doing? You wrecked my car. So he
No.
he comforts Takumi, like telling him it's all right. It's not his fault.
Yeah, the accident was not his fault. The engine was going to give way.
Yeah.
Like the engine was going to fail at some point.
Yeah. And that brings us to episode 7.
Episode 7, we're at the halfway point. Are we going to be able to finish in like 30 minutes or not?
That brings us to 9 pages.
Whoa, hello.
You just sitting here by yourself?
No, there's 2 of us.
Hey.
I'm saying before I joined, you was just sitting here by your damn self.
No,
No.
we're doing a podcast right now.
A podcast?
Yeah.
For an
Who's
anime.
we? Is there somebody else there?
Yeah.
There's 2 of us. Me and the other guy.
Oh, alright. What's the topic for today?
Initial D. We're talking season 2 of Initial D.
It's an anime.
Oh, I got a better one. Why don't we brush our teeth? We can do the initial D after we pick up a toothbrush. We can go ahead and do that shit right now.
Okay, I see what you did there.
What?
Initial
You
D.
ever heard of a bar of soap? Yeah. You ever put that bitch on your body like while you got running water?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how yes. So if you use bar of soap, then why you stink so bad?
No, maybe because I got bad BO. I don't know.
You have bad BO?
Maybe.
You sure do. But you know why that is?
Why?
Because you don't wash up. Who the fuck is this inviting me to chat? Alright. How many people are in your podcast? Like niggas watching?
I don't know.
We don't really have anyone else watching. It's pre-recorded podcast.
Yeah, so we're recording it and then it gets uploaded to YouTube.
Oh, so you still have time to cut parts out?
Yeah.
You might want to cut my little segment out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause they might have to. They gonna hurt you if my segment gets out.
Okay.
Okay.
Cause you know a lot of niggas that they don't deserve to know how to like not stink anymore. But I bestowed upon you some knowledge about how to not.
Okay.
I don't know if you're gonna use it, cause I think you niggas like.
Oh gosh. He can't join the voice chat.
That's like the N word repeatedly.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so we're on episode 7.
I don't even like to cut stuff out. That's my problem. I need to learn to cut stuff like that out.
So Takumi couldn't sleep since losing the AE86. That was like his baby.
Yeah.
He loved that car more than he loves Natsuki.
Yeah. Sort of like Christine. Remember that movie?
Yeah. So Takumi ignores Itsuki when he mentions taking the AE86 to Akagi. Because as you know...
Because the whole engine's gone from the car situation.
Yeah.
So he doesn't...
He doesn't know, does he?
Itsuki does not know what happened.
Yeah. Then Itsuki predicts Ryusuke will beat Kiyoshi.
Which does happen.
Yeah, you just put that right here. Takumi doesn't mention that the AE86 engine blew in the race. Then we got Ikatani and Kenji don't know Akaza's 86 engine blew, nor Yuchi as well.
So literally no one in his social group knows. But there's a word going around that it happened.
Yeah. Then Keisuke stops by the Keisuke stops by the gas station.
And Keisuke is just like...
And he doesn't consider last night's race an official race.
Which it really wasn't.
Yeah. And that the Red Suns will avenge Takami's Akane 86's...
Akane's 86.
Akane's 86. They will avenge this metal beast.
Yeah, because it is probably one of the best cars out there.
Yeah. Then Itsuki gets upset at a small ding from a rock on his car roof.
Well, it's sort of karma for tossing rocks at the window, and then Takumi like throws it at the ground and it like bounces off a pole, and then it bounces off the roof of the car. And Takumi's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did not mean for that to happen."
He like spun it when he was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, he did not mean for it to happen.
Yeah.
But it bounced off a pole and then hit the car, I think.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't the windscreen.
Yeah.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, it would have. And then Itsuki passes on Keisuke's message to Takumi about avenging the Akana 86. And then a new AE 86 Levin.
Yeah, with Turbo shows up.
Takumi tells Itsuki that the AE 86 needs a new engine. And he's like, "What? How could you keep this from me?" And he's like more emotional than Takumi.
Yeah.
And then we
meet Kazumi, which is Itsuki's new love interest for the season.
Kazumi.
Kazumi Akiyama, who's Wataru's sister.
Who's Wataru?
Wataru.
Wataru was in the first season, right?
No.
No.
He's the one with the new AE86.
Oh, okay. No, sorry, I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what's a good love interest story.
What?
School Days. Yeah, we're gonna have to play that one day.
Why not go the shorter title though? Days. There's an anime called that.
Yeah, but no, this is School Days.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
When you receive death from a text message. Goodbye.
Wait, what?
That's the last text message he receives. And then he dies.
Wait. It's a killer phone?
The phone lets him know that he's dying. The phone lets him know that the last words he ever sees on his phone. Goodbye.
What?
And then he's gone. It's like out of context, but it makes more sense when you actually know how it ends.
I want to stab you in the mouth.
That's what happens in the anime. Not in the mouth, but he gets stabbed. Ugh.
Let me take a guess.
Okay. Where were we? Takumi vaguely explains what happened the night of the race.
Because Takumi is not the best person to memorize stuff. At times.
And then Kyoshi's LAN Evo 3 versus Ryosuke's FC.
Okay, who wants to bet on Kyoshi winning?
Yeah, you think Kyoshi's gonna win. But...
Who wants to bet on Ryosuke winning?
Ryosuke.
You didn't bet on either of them.
No, because I was like, I already know who's gonna win.
We're doing the joke of like, we don't know the result of the race yet, and we're betting on who's gonna win.
Oh, okay. That was too sophisticated for me. So Kyoshi plans to use Simulation X for this special race, and they got simulations A to Z, right?
No, it's just 1, 2, 3, and X.
Okay.
Simulation X is special because it's Ryosuke.
Alright. Ryosuke takes the lead in the first corner, and then Wataru notes the LAN Evo 3 retreated behind the FC as a strategy to learn how he drives and how he drifts.
Yeah.
So that so that Kiyoshi can pass Risuke
Anyway,
once he figure out his
yeah.
driving technique.
Yeah. But first, we have a flashback.
Yeah. Flashback to a conversation after Kiyoshi's defeat last year between Risuke and Kiyoshi. Then we find out Kiyoshi dyed his hair blonde, eyebrows as well.
Yeah.
Which that wasn't it, so that's not his natural hair color.
Yeah, that's not his natural hair color. His natural hair color is like black.
Yeah. Kiyoshi believes motorsport technique is faster than circuit racing technique.
Which sort of is, if you think about it.
Yeah. And then Kiyoshi gets side by side Ryusuke and passes him. And it's like I said, hey, what? Get the meme?
No.
He's singing from Initial D and there's this song playing and I believe it's Itsuki passes this guy and here I said, hey. And you see the driver's like, what? I gotta show you that video before I leave.
Oh my gosh. And we're on episode 8.
Yeah, there we go.
We're on episode 8. We're getting so close to the end already.
Yeah. Takumi doesn't know how the current race at Akage will end. Since
Akage.
Akage, that's what I said.
You keep saying Akage.
I do?
Yeah, it's Gi.
Akage.
There you go.
Yes. Takumi doesn't know how the current race at Akage
will end because he hasn't seen the full capabilities of the Land Evo 3.
He hasn't seen the Land Evo 3's true form yet.
The full capabilities of it, yeah.
He has his hidden special technique.
Oh, there's one funny moment in the anime where it's like this one guy's like, ah! And it's like, like something and all that. I'm pretty sure you've seen that.
Yeah.
Clip.
I think I have. Talking to Itsuki is helping Takumi relax and get things out. Because he's still angry and upset about what
he's
happened.
annoyed that the 86 engine is gone.
Yeah. And Bunta and Masashi fixed the AE86 in one day with the new car.
Oh, I think I meant to write engine.
But yeah, with that makes
new car
sense.
engine.
With the new car engine, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then after that, Ryusuke analyzes Kiyoshi's car.
And this is during the race still. Because we gotta cut everything in during the race.
Yeah. And Keisuke believes Ryusuke will win. Like I did. And then Kiyoshi still has an inferior complex about losing to Ryusuke.
Yeah.
In case any of you don't know, an inferior complex is when you think you're better than someone and it's like, yeah, I'm totally better, but you keep on losing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I gotta get better. It's like, that's like what the Riddler has in the Arkham games where he's trying to beat Batman. He's like, oh yeah, I'm smarter than you, I'm more intelligent, but Batman clearly is the smarter one and keeps beating him. But the Riddler's like, oh no, you use brute force and you cheat. He comes up with excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where were we?
Down here.
Here we go. Ryusuke has one last chance to beat Kiyoshi.
Yeah. Because we found out that Kiyoshi has a fear of turning right.
Yeah, which is a bit weird.
Yeah. Like, Ryusuke does explain why that fear of turning right exists, and it's mostly because Kiyoshi's main road is a one-way road.
Yeah.
And it has like right and left, but
they're mainly left turns.
No, it has both right and left turns, but because it's one way, he doesn't have to worry about cars coming up the road.
Yeah. And Ryusuke passes on the outside of the last right turn, boxing Kiyoshi through it.
So what happens is like
Kiyoshi's
in front and Ryusuke is like goes around and he's still turning around the corner, going like basically sideways.
Yeah.
To box Kiyoshi in while also taking the lead.
And Kiyoshi has to be careful because doesn't he like put on the brakes real quick or something?
No,
doesn't
they're
go
both still
here.
going at really fast speeds, but he has to turn right. He's forced into turning right.
Oh yeah, and that's what causes Ryosuke to win the race.
Ryosuke, yeah.
Ryosuke. Again, then Kiyoshi asks Ryosuke, why he can't win, and Ryosuke explains that it is his right turns.
Yeah, again, it's because his home course is a one-way road, and in motorsport, you're not really. It's again a one-way course, technically.
Then Iketani wonders why Takumi changed his mind about Akage. Then
Because no one knows that it's actually because of Natsuki.
Yeah.
And the whole date thing they witnessed.
Yeah, because he was more interested in her than racing at this point.
Yeah,
he kept winning. That all changed.
And he's not even talking to Natsuki. Like Takumi is not talking to Natsuki. Any reveals later.
Yeah.
That good luck with the Mercedes guy.
Yeah. So the AE86 Trino is back on the road in Akana. Then
But Takumi does not even know that that's happened.
Yeah. Then Bunta has a serious calf graze from the Ginyu Force of the AE86.
The G forces.
Yeah, I know, but Ginyu Force.
So literally, like he shows it to them, and it's like I can't really get it up high enough to show the camera where his graze was. Just picture the whole right side of his right calf just red.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So Bunta has decided to put bucket seat in.
So Bunta calls Takumi an inept driver of the AE86.
Which technically he is, because Bunta still in season 4, Bunta passes him on the uphill.
Yeah.
At Akana.
No, it can be Bunta.
Yeah.
And Takumi wants his own car since he thinks the AE86 is out of commission.
But no, it is not.
Takumi reveals to Natsuki he knows about the Mercedes guy.
Which takes us into episode 9. Do you want to stop here or try and get to the end?
If you want to stop here.
Well, I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do you have anything else that you need to do today?
I'm going to have to watch the next season.
And that's another thing as well. What we could do is although the movie might have a lot of detail in it, surprisingly, let's just keep going because we've only got 4 episodes left, and the details get less important the further you go, towards the end, because it's just the last 2 episodes is the race between the AE86 and the AE86 with turbo.
So Takumi hears the AE86. This is episode 9, by the way.
Yeah.
And goes out to see it fixed already.
He's surprised by the fact that it's fixed already.
Yeah. And the AE86 is now half Takumi's car.
Because the engine was paid for with his money.
Yeah. And the cost of the new engine used up Takumi's savings from his work.
Yeah.
And both the steering and the clutch of the AE86 is heavier, and which makes it harder to control.
Yeah.
So Takumi has to learn how to
drift again, basically. And we see that he's trying to correct with his technique, not by messing with the suspension.
And so Iketani and Kenji find out Akane's 86 is fixed already. And Takumi says the AE86's new engine is slower than the first.
That's because the power has actually been sealed off.
Yeah.
Because Takumi does not know anything about engines and does not realize that he needs a new tachometer, which is what he finds out from Wataru later on.
Yeah. And so Itsuki comes across the Levine. Levin. I like Levine. That sounds more classy.
Levine.
This is my car. It's a Levine. Instead of a, this is 11. 11.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
you mean lemon? 11 AE86 with turbo. Itsuki and Kazumi get into an argument about why Itsuki is looking at the 11 AE86.
Well, she doesn't really know him. He's like looking at it because he's like, oh, it's another 886. She's like, it's just a regular car.
Yeah. Then Wataru wants to race Ryosuke's FC someday. And does that ever happen?
No, it doesn't.
Not in this season, at least.
I don't think it ever happens, actually.
Well, we'll still have to see season 5 or 6. If we can find it. The AE86 being...
yeah, Yoshi calls them about the AE86's new engine being slow.
Yeah, and Takumi can't control the AE86 because of this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just the engine, it's the gear shift and all that, but...
Yeah.
That's the main reason. So Kazumi is 10 yen short for some Tayaka.
Yeah, so this is like a completely separate scene from what we're just talking about at.
And Izuki pays the last 10 yen.
Yeah, and Kazumi apologizes. Or Kazumi apologizes about yelling
at Itsuki.
At Itsuki for looking at the car.
And Itsuki develops feelings for Kazumi. Like, this guy develops feelings for every woman that gives him a compliment or an apology.
He gets bonus quite often throughout this, doesn't he?
Yeah. Then you got Ryusuke and Keisuke here from Kenta. Akane's 86 is running again.
Yeah.
Ryusuke instantly recognizes that Takumi is struggling with the new engine's extreme power.
Like,
wouldn't call it extreme power. Like, it's cut off. So.
Well, technically, it would be extreme power because it has been sealed off from him.
Okay. Takumi has been trying multiple times with the AE86. None of them are working.
Yeah.
And we find out the AE86 suspension settings are what the issue is.
I should have put a question mark next to that one because it turns out that it wasn't. It's just that Bunto notes, oh, he's not messing with the suspension settings. He's trying to adjust for his technique for the car.
Okay. Then Ikitani questions Itsuki about Kazumi.
Because he's like, what happened to the lonely driver Itsuki?
Yeah. And then Itsuki picks Kazumi up in his AE85 at 7:30 p.m.
You gotta note the time there.
Yeah. I like that name, Wataru. Wataru Akiyama, because her name is
Kazumi.
Kazumi Wataru, right?
No, Akiyama.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other person, sorry.
Wataru Akiyama is his full name. Again, we only just get his name now, even though I think I've used it a few times beforehand.
Yeah.
I always try to take note of the name when it's first mentioned in the show.
Yeah. So Wataru Akiyama drives the 11 AE86 with turbo.
And it's the fastest on Saitama's...
In Saitama.
Downhill.
Saitama.
Yeah.
One Punch Man.
No, the actual place.
Yeah, Saitama is a one-punch downhill road. Once you get hit, you're gone. And the Red Suns have a policy to not race at Akagi.
Akagi, yeah.
And also that they take the AE86 races seriously.
Because Ryosuke was beaten by an AE86.
Yeah. Keisuke's FD versus Wataru's Levan. That sounds
11,
better. Levan.
11, 8, A86 Turbo.
Yeah. A Thunder Fire member crashes on Akagi,
Yes.
which brings us to episode 10.
Episode done. Episode 10.
Both Keisuke and Wataru avoid the car accident.
Yeah, but like Wataru's like, it was only just getting interesting.
Yeah. Then Wataru meets Itsuki at the gas station as Wataru needed high octane gas. Octane is what you get from an octopus. You know, you have to drain out its blood and use that as the car's fuel source.
But this is where, yeah, Wataru meets Itsuki and Kazumi introduces Wataru to Itsuki. And Wataru brings up Akine's 886 because Rosuke mentioned that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Itsuki says he knows the driver.
Yeah.
Kazumi is not happy that Itsuki is being used as an excuse to race in
Gunma.
Guma. And Wataru loses his cool when racing, you know, which...
Not a good thing to have happen. And then Takumi meets up with Wataru and Kazumi and Itsuki.
Ikutani thinks Itsuki is going to flop with Kazumi.
Which does happen.
And you got Wataru checks out Takumi's new engine.
And he's like, it's like, he's laughing at the fact, like, why do you not have control of your car? Like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Because Akina 86's new engine is not a 4AG, even though it's a 4AG.
Which is weak. That's because it's not releasing all the power, right?
It's not releasing all the power, but it's called a 4AG, but it's actually not. It is actually not a 4AG.
Oh, I get it. It's a 4AG, not. Yeah, so, and this is episode 10, by the way.
Yeah, we find out that Takumi's engine is for professional racing.
And as some people will tell you, drag racing and professional racing are two different things, but that can be argued.
Why did we have to bring in drag racing? We don't care about drag racing here.
Well, this is like kind of, I know it's like drifting and racing, but it's essentially like drag racing. It's like, you know, in Fast and the Furious,
racing and drag.
Yeah. You know what I mean? How they're racing in the streets in Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
That's not technically professional racing, but the people driving are professionals because they know the roads. Because I think like that street racing is a lot better than professional racing because in the street you don't know what's going to happen. Whereas with professional racing, it's all out on the track, it's all planned.
By the way, I just want to mention now, since you brought up Fast and Furious, Keiichi, the guy that we talked about in the first season, actually appears in Fast and Furious 3, Tokyo Drift, And also, another thing that I found about...
Isn't Tokyo Drift number 6?
No, it's number 3 in release. But it's number 6 in the timeline of events.
Okay.
Also, one of Keiichi's cars is actually an A86 Torino.
Oh, okay.
So, Takumi's driving the same car as Keiichi.
Did not notice that.
Well, you have to do your research to find that out.
Yeah. So Kazumi slaps her brother across the face.
And she's surprised that she even did that.
She's like, oh my god, how could I?
Yeah. Oh my god, hey, go Kitty, those bastards.
Yeah. Then Wataru
like in that one episode where Kitty kills himself, it's like, oh my god, Kitty killed himself. What a bastard.
Yeah. Then Wataru and Takumi leaving Itsuki and Kazumi alone.
Yeah.
Takumi comes across Wataru at the top of Akina's hill.
Akina's
downhill.
Akuna's.
Takumi reveals to Wataru that what the Wataru, Earth
What
Ru,
the?
Fire Ru, Air Ru.
It sounds like Waterloo.
Wataru is surprised that Takumi's dad runs a tofu shop, but got this amazing engine, which was from Takumi's 5 years of saving.
Yeah, and all the work that he's done over the time.
Yeah. Then Bunta ordered another part for the AE-86, but hasn't got enough of a reaction from Takumi to put it
into the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the tachometer and the water pressure gauge and the oil temperature gauge.
Yeah. Then Wataru rides in Takumi's AE-86.
Yeah. By the way, we got someone in the chat. They're not really talking though.
Okay.
Hey, hello. You can join if you want. We're doing the podcast right now though.
Yeah. Alright, so Akana, is that better for
Akuna's 86.
86. Is it 86 or 86?
86. In the anime they say 86, and it's spelt out, or like the 86.
Okay. Akana's 86 engine is defective. But it's not defective, is it? No.
No, it's not defective. It's just sealed off.
Yeah.
Power.
Wataru realizes Akana's 86 engine is defective. Akana's 86 tachometer doesn't go high enough for the engine.
Yeah, so this is how Takumi finds out that the A86 engine is basically prevented from being powerful enough.
Yeah. Akana's 86 engine can reach 10,000 roads per minute.
No. Revolutions.
I know, that's the joke, roads.
Yeah.
Because that's how fast he goes. He can drift onto 10,000 roads in a single minute.
Later in the season, Bunta's like, make sure you rev it to 11,000.
Yeah. I haven't seen season 3, so...
No, later in season 2.
When does he say that?
Right before the race.
Okay.
In the next episode. Let's keep going though.
Alright.
So Akuna's new engine is a... Hold on.
I'm
going to pull it over here. So I can... So Akuna's 86's new engine is a 5-valve head engine that was adapted from the newer 101, which I had to do some research into this, and it's the AE 101.
What's that one?
It's a different engine, like a different car type.
Okay.
Because there's a range of AEs out there. It also doesn't have a VVT device, which means variable valve timing.
Yeah, I have no idea about cars, so it's like, I'm going to have to take your word on it.
I did the research. I made sure I look up the terms and all that so that I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it basically just means the engine is a super high rev engine. It needs to be at the high revs to be able to function properly.
Yeah.
And Watto mentions to Takumi that he's missing an essential element as a racer.
The heart. His heart's not in the race.
No, it's not that. I think we don't really get an explanation on what it is. Like, is it endurance ability or not? Well, Takumi figures it out at the end of the season, but we're on episode 11.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just checking this.
What are you doing?
Some messages here. Let's go.
Episode 11.
So Kazumi asks Itsuki, where does he finish work?
When does he finish work?
And Itsuki is like, you know what? I'm gonna leave work early.
Yeah, just hang out with you for today.
Yeah. Because, no, he was thinking with his dick, it's like,
Yeah.
no, this is work. You're gonna make money.
Yeah.
Is that your washing machine?
I think so.
Okay. So Kazumi Kazumi used to use her salary on Wataru's 11. Kazumi has a mean co-worker at the hotel she works out.
Like, works at, not out.
Works at.
You said it.
She works out at the motel, just cleaning all the walls.
You would get good exercise working at a hotel.
Yeah.
No, a motel.
Never understood the difference between motel and hotel.
Motel is a drive-in place. Hotel, you mostly stay there a few nights.
Okay. What about a wotel? One that's underwater.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, so Itsuki encourages
Kazumi teaches Itsuki how to drift.
Yeah. And then Itsuki encourages Kazumi to get her driving license. I need to get my driving license.
I don't want to get mine.
Me neither, but you have to.
I'm not getting mine ever.
Yeah.
You can't make me.
I prefer to be chauffeured around. So Kazumi decides to not quit a job and move back to Saitama.
And that's supposed to be 1 point altogether.
Okay.
So she decides that she's not going to move back to Saitama at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, but it says to not. Okay, yeah, I see how you word that.
Yeah.
So Itsuki tells Takumi about last night.
Because he and Kazumi.
Yes.
Nah, they just slept in the car together. Yeah. That's all they did.
Yeah. Then Wataru wants to race Takumi.
And Wataru's fix this engine by tomorrow.
Yes. And then Takumi asks Ikatani to help install a tachometer. And Masashi has the racing.
Yeah, he has everything that Takumi needs for the A.
Water temperature and oil pressure gauges for Akana's 8.6.
Yeah. Takumi runs into Natsuki.
And still ignoring her.
He doesn't not talk to her. He's he's just sorry, I've got things I need to do.
Yeah. Because Natsuki is nothing but a liar.
And a whore.
And a bit of a whore, if you ask me. She's tramping around with these men buying her gifts. Takumi installs the new tachometer.
That sounds a bit odd. Taco.
Yeah.
Tachometer.
Taco. I want a taco meter. I need to know how hot this is before I eat it. Just put a little thermostat in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Kazumi is forced to return home to Saitama
by her brother Wataru. And Bunta learns Takumi tells Takumi to rev the engine to 11,000 RPM during the race.
Yeah. And
we find out why he said 11,000 later on.
Takumi chose Shumaru Pass for the race.
Which is probably one of the most dangerous passes to choose for a race ever.
And that brings us to episode 12.
Episode 12. We're almost there. We're almost at the finish line.
Yeah. So Red Sun's heading out to Shumaru Pass to watch the race. Misuke is excited about Akane's 8.6 new engine being revealed.
Because, it's the first ever race with the new engine.
Yeah. And Yuchi lets Ikatani go to the race with Kenji. And at the race, Ikatani sports...
on the way to the
race, sorry.
Ikatani spots Natsuki.
In a fast food restaurant on the way to the race.
And we find out that she was applying for a job there.
Yeah. Because she has no more gifts.
No, because she wants to be independent.
Who wants to be independent?
Natsuki. She's trying to be independent to get Takumi back, basically.
Yeah. Kazumi says to not race at Shimaru Pass.
Because, well, it's probably the most... Again, it's the most dangerous pass ever.
But Takumi is still going through with it. And he's Akane's
AE86
AE86
versus Torino. So this one was a bit of a hard one. Obviously, I just ended up going with Torino and Levin to difference the two.
Yeah. And then Kazumi explains why Shimaru Pass is so dangerous.
And there's a whole heap of things. It's narrow, there's poor visibility of the road.
Old roads, rusted
guardrails. And also, we also found that during the race, there's a mudslide that happened recently as well, making it even harder to win the race at that point.
Yeah. Then Takumi has unlocked his new engine.
So yeah, literally...
So Wataru is fucked now.
Wataru starts first in the race, though. So basically, what Shomaru passes, it's an uphill, downhill section. So it's like at the midpoint you go, and then it goes downhill.
Yeah, and then we see Natsuki looking for a part-time job, but we don't care about her right now.
Yeah, we don't care about her. We gotta get back to this race.
Yeah. So Wataru can see Akane's 86 aura. And on Shimura Pass is so narrow that there's only one spot to watch from.
Yeah. So and that's literally at the very top.
Yeah, so everyone's just up there finding a
good spot. The only people there are Rosuke, Kesuke, and Kenji. Where's it?
Yeah, but they gotta find a good spot to watch.
No, there's only one spot to watch it.
Yeah, but there's certain.
And that's from.
But in that one spot, there are different places to move around.
No, like the other side of the road is not available.
Yeah, but they got on. They're on one side, but they've got room to move around on that side.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so they can move to a different. They on the same side. They can move around that side.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. Rizuke explains how the Torino and Levin are running differently.
So, it's the difference. Like the Torino is mechanical powered, whereas the turbo is a different way. I don't remember how. It's like electrical.
Yeah. So both Wataru and Takumi are barely dodge
an old landslide. Again, excuse my terrible. Excuse the fact that I'm trying to speed write this.
Yeah.
At 10 p.m.
Yeah. The second race starts immediately with Takumi leading.
Yeah, so basically what it is, once they get once they get to the end, they both turn around and then the other person leads, with the other person following, and they keep going until one of them passes the other, or one of them falls behind.
Yeah. Takumi sizes up Shimaru Pass. Akane's 886 suspension setting changed based on the engine power.
Yeah, so there's no need to address the suspension, because the more powerful it goes, the setting changes automatically to suit it. Which is actually really cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool detail.
Then we get a flashback of Wataru talking to Kazumi about the turbo in his Levin AE86.
I do not get why people start having flashbacks during races now. It's just like, racing is the perfect setting for a flashback.
I know. Kazumi tells Itsuki she's returning to Saitama. It's like, why would you want to go back to that guy?
Do you want to get smacked?
No. Takumi unlocks the engine's full capabilities at 11,000 roads per minute.
RPM, yeah.
I know. Road sounds better because they're drifting on roads.
Mm-hmm.
Then third round starts with Wataru leading, which brings us to episode 13.
Episode 13, and they can go for a while.
Yeah. This is the last episode because technically
there is technically 14, but the last one is the extra stage, which is not canon.
I didn't get why it's not canon.
Well, in a sense, it sort of is, but it's not. It's not considered canon by the audience.
Alright.
And the audience is the best reference points I have for this anime.
Yeah. Okay, the race is now one of endurance.
Yeah, so it's basically who will falter first.
Yeah.
And Wataru is now deciding, oh, I'm going to give it 100% now.
Yeah.
Even though, didn't he say that at the start?
And it's like, no, I was just fucking with you. I wasn't using my full power.
You haven't discovered my full power yet.
It's like if in Dragon Ball Z where Frieza's like, this planet will explode in 5 minutes.
By the way, your teeth are disgusting.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's I had an orange. That's probably why.
Yeah, you got like a dangly bit. I'm just like,
yeah, that's probably why.
That guy from earlier was right. You do need to clean your teeth.
I did clean my teeth. I did clean my teeth before I came here. I had a healthy breakfast. You know,
I had Vegemite toast.
I had some Special K with an orange.
I had Vegemite
I
toast.
brushed my teeth. Do I have any more? Or?
No. Like other than like you got like the plaque thing going on.
Oh, you're one to talk. They should have told me earlier.
Yeah. No, that guy from earlier could see your face.
He couldn't see my face.
Well, how else would he know that you needed to clean your teeth?
He could sense it.
Yeah.
My halitosis was going through the screen. He could smell it.
Takumi does not want to lose this race, though.
And we know he won't.
Although he does almost crash into the guardrail.
Because the engine's too powered. Like,
no,
he's still getting used to it.
Yeah, he's still getting used to it a little bit. But also it's the rear tires giving out. Which is something he's never experienced before.
Yeah.
So, but both the cars are having that same problem of the rear traction giving out.
Yeah.
But now we're into the 4th round with Takumi leading, and we actually get to see the weapons aura.
Yes.
So, which is orange, I think it was. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
But the interesting part of this is the lack of rear traction actually helps Takumi win. Takumi is able to use a disadvantage as an advantage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now it's into the 5th round with Wataru leading.
Yeah.
The 5th.
We're almost done.
We're almost finished. Wataru thinks he's safe because of the mudslide.
But little does he know
that
mudslide will be his undoing.
Yep, because Takumi passes on the inside through the mudslide because there's less mud.
Winning the race.
Yeah. Takumi actually catches some air to get into the lead.
Yeah. Then in-show tension for Ikutani and Kenji to who won the race.
Although, if the cars were slowing down, and all the other times it was Wataru leading, I'm pretty sure it would have been obvious.
Yeah.
But nah, the guardrail was just in the perfect spot to hide the logo on the car. So it's just like, oh, who won? Hey, it's Takumi!
Yeah. Then Kasumi and Wataru leave back to Saitama.
Yeah. And Takumi only has 1 hour until the delivery run starts. So he's got 1 hour sleep going into it.
Takumi, that's good, like a power nap. That's what that's what Leonardo da Vinci did.
That's why
He was awake for days but only got like a few hours of sleep, and it helped refresh his mind.
They also use that technique on the trawlers, like the big game trawlers out on the high seas. They use that.
Trawlers?
Yeah, like TRAW.
I thought you were saying TROLL.
No.
It's like trawlers, what, out at sea? That's why nobody can ever find them. The whole ship is like a gaming center.
But yeah, Takumi realizes what essential element to racing he was missing, which we do not find out about.
Yeah. And speaking of like Takumi shifted now, he should just dump his head in an ice cold bucket because the cold. Did you know that the cold actually like shocks your brain away?
Yeah. Should we do that with you?
Yeah. Maybe that's how I was reading this thing in Finland. There was this prison, and that's how some of the inmates wake up every day. They jump into an icy lake, and then get out.
But yeah, Kazumi shows up at the gas station, surprisingly.
Yeah.
To talk to Itsuki, and Itsuki is just like, yeah, I'm gonna take time off work again.
Yeah.
To be with Kazumi for one last time.
Yeah, good thing he's friends with the boss's son.
Good thing he's friends with the boss.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Extra brownie points. So Itsuka leaves work early again to be with Kazumi one last time.
Yeah, he just covered that one.
Yeah, but before she leaves
back to Saitama.
Yeah. Natsuki got a part-time job at the fast food joint.
Which I want to know is the place is called Fast Burgers, I think.
Yeah, she's working at McRonald's. Have you seen that? Devil's a part-timer.
No.
McRonald's. Or Whack-Donald's. There are different versions of it.
It's Kazumi calls Itsuki the little brother she never had.
Oh,
ooh,
no.
That's the punch in the gut.
Like a kick in the balls right there.
Yeah. She's like,
yeah. Then
that's gonna hurt tomorrow.
Yeah. Then Risuke starts forming the All Gunma team. The All Gunma team. And Takumi learns about engines, and then
he learns about that during the credits.
Yeah.
Well, and with the All Gunma team, he's chosen the people. It's just getting the people to join.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I want these people to join, but he has to convince them to join. Like,
yeah,
he knows who he wants to be on the team.
But and he wants Takumi on the team, obviously.
Yeah.
Because Takumi's like the number one. Like the number one driver of Akana. Anyways, that's season 2. Hopefully, we might get some people that don't want to be douches to join for season 3, which is the movie.
Yeah, which I didn't get. I thought you were screwing with me, but I had a look before I came here. It's like
it is actually a movie.
Yeah.
All you literally just go to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But not even really Wikipedia. You can easily find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of season 2 of Initial D. Should we wait 2 weeks till we do season 3?
Yeah, if you want.
It just makes things easier.
Okay.
So in 2 weeks we'll be doing season 3 of Initial D, and then once we do that, another 2 weeks, then we'll do season 4.
Okay.
And then the next anime, which it's actually not Fruits Basket. It's Edge-Han Can't Study.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh boy, it's gonna get sexy.
That's more sexy than AE86.
Oh, that guy is sexy.
Yeah.
Anyways, links to both YouTube pages and my second YouTube pages channel as well. I don't know why I was saying page. Channels will be in the description below, along with everything else that I use and anything that he uses. Although it's mostly just Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm not a fan. I don't use Facebook.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter because like all that stuff that's happening with Twitter.
Anyways, don't forget to subscribe to all our channels and hit the notification bell so you know when the next videos come out on either of our channels.
Yeah, I couldn't get my laptop fixed though, so I'm not gonna be having videos for a while.
Oof, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, probably be like last time I had to get a new battery fixed.
But hey, at least you still got videos with me.
Yeah.
You're still gonna be relevant.
Yeah. I have to direct all my fans here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.
Yeah. It's Telegram Junkie. See you everyone.